Dallas came in there like, hey, we've had all this stuff, but CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott with all the drama and all that, I can't get over how good CeeDee Lamb looked yesterday. It was like he didn't miss a beat. It didn't miss anything. You couple that with the way the defense looked, an impressive win on the road for Dallas. And really never really at any point thought Cleveland had a chance once the first quarter was about over.
I still question how good Dallas is going to be because they prevented themselves from addressing flaws in free agency, given the fact that they were so bogged down in the CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons contract situation. Now, they're very fortunate that Micah Parsons didn't hold out. He should have. $3 million is criminal borderline for the best defensive player in football in the fourth year of his contract. With the risk you're taking, it's not just, I can get an insurance policy if I have a career-ending injury. It's an injury that keeps you from being Micah Parsons, that the insurance company is never going to pay on. That's what he's risking. But they still, even though they finally got everything stabilized the morning of week one, they still weren't able to go out and improve the team. So that's where I'm concerned.
I hear you.
Yeah, hey, great win, great start to the season. You still got 16 games. You go 12-5 again, and then it's time for the playoffs and what's going to happen when you run into the Lions, when you run into the 49ers.
Is there enough meat and potatoes on their football team? Because they have the one thing they have is they have difference makers, right? Sometimes I talk about the Buffalo Bills, and I go, they got a lot of good meat and potatoes, right? But they don't have the sizzle players. With Dallas, it's the opposite. They got some playmakers, right? They got DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. Ooh, Trayvon Diggs is back in the secondary. Ooh, he's special, right? Deron Bland, when he gets back healthy with the foot injury. Wow, another playmaker. Oh, CeeDee Lamb. We saw Brandon Cooks pop up. Dak Prescott. Wow. Yeah, running back. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of star plays there, but it was nonetheless looked good for Ezekiel Elliott yesterday. But here's CeeDee Lamb early in the game, over the middle, tough. And the one thing I do like about Dallas is they go down fighting with their stars more times than not. They're going, we're paying you, we're going to ride you, every freaking pass play, we're going to call for you, and we're going to get our money's worth out of you. And they got him indoctrinated into the game very early on in the football game, got them in a nice rhythm, and once they got that lead, and you felt like once they got to 17-3, you kind of felt like, man, it doesn't look like Cleveland's going to be able to mount enough offense here today to make this a football game.
And that's the thing. It was just a suffocation where you don't need to have tremendous offensive statistics.
No,
when the other side keeps self-destructing and putting you in position where you can score and they're not going to be able to respond, and you get that sense, it's not my day. That's always the biggest challenge, I think, mentally for any quarterback, particularly quarterback. It applies to all players. But when you feel like it's not your day, can you consciously become aware of that and turn it around? Because so many guys just surrender to that. And I feel like that's the fundamental problem with Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. He's kind of decided, it's not my career.
Right.
I'm done.
And back in the old days, he never accepted that.
I'm taking my $46 million a year. No, that was your big criticism of him. He treated every play like it was the last play of the Super Bowl.
Right.
Now it just feels like he's going through the motions. I'm going to get another $92 million after the $46 million I make this year, and probably at that point my career will be over. But look at all this money I will have made, and I'll go disappear into the anonymity I would love to be a part of right now and live the rest of my life. Just get me through the next 3 years. I just feel like that's his attitude. Get me through the next 3 years.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you there. We got to see something different for me to.
Yeah, it's all subject to change.
You're right. It's week one. We'll see. But that was an ugly first start. And again, he didn't get to play in the preseason, and he didn't get to practice much. But again, this is part of the problem with him right now. He can't stay on the field to do anything to really regain that magic. And there becomes a time where you go so long without the magic, I don't know if it ever comes back. And we'll see where that goes. Other guy we got to give a little credit for? Mike Zimmer. The old Vikings coach. Yep. I'll say this. He gives them a different look on defense. And with Dan Quinn, who's a hell of a defensive coach and all that, who moved on to be the head coach of the Commanders, I love his defense. He does a lot of great things, but you've always heard me say it's a little aggressive. It's a little too reliant on man-to-man all the time, right? It's always that, and that's why they've had pass interference problems and stuff like that in big games. Zimmer, I think, is going to give them a little more versatility on that side of the ball. And I think that, and when I say that is, just a little more, game plan specific. Oh, this week we're going to do this, and next week we're going to do that. And I'm excited for that, and good for Mike Zimmer, getting off to a good start there in Cleveland yesterday as the Dallas DC.
And how about Brandon Aubrey? It's hard when we're watching multiple games at once. We saw him lining up for a 71-yard field goal. He did make a 66-yarder that was wiped out by penalty, delay of game.
Right.
And then they were going to try 71, and they decided not to do it. They should have just, what the hell?
Well, I think they saw Denzel Ward back there, and that's what scared them. Yeah. They went, oh, man, we're going to have a bunch of blockers on there.
You don't want the Antonio Rogers Cromartie outcome.
He runs 4.35, and I don't know if we're going to be able to catch him if he turns the corner. So that's ultimately, I think, the smart decision because they were controlling the game to such a extent. Don't even give them an inch or any wiggle room to feel good about themselves going into halftime.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.